what are we listening to today?
The Immigrant Project by Girish and Astha.
Hi everyone, the third episode with Eliza. I think we are all radiating with positivity today, and Astha and I are emulating whatever it is that Eliza is saying. So we thought that let's do an introduction different this time.
What are we listening to?
What are we listening to today?
Yeah.
The Immigrant Project.
By Girish and Astha.
Hi everyone, welcome again. This is the third episode with Eliza. We thought that she's such an incredible all-in-one package that we do not one, not two, but 3 episodes with her. And if you remember last time, we ended the conversation by talking about the future. So this is what we are going to pick up today. But Eliza, before we talk about the future, we have to talk about the present. And as we are in the present right now, the situation is that you have to apply for a co-op. And I'm sure since this is the second course that you are taking, you perhaps would have taken a co-op last year as well.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about how the process was?
Okay, so process-wise, there was no process because I was offered a co-op.
You are a star student, but
Yes.
what if there's someone like me?
And you know what? My being a star student is not because of just who I am. It's not like I walked into school and they're like, oh, she's a star student. No. What do you have to do in that whole 2 semesters so that you end up being offered a co-op instead of struggling to find one? Most importantly, you show up. You participate. You show what you can do. Like it's your time to shine. It's grad school. You're expected to have a wealth of information from whatever background you are. Even if you don't have any experience in marketing, you have experience being marketed to. And always speak up and speak to your experience. And I did my best to do that with all of my professors. I'm in touch with all of them.
Show that you're invested.
Yes,
in
you're
the program.
invested in your future, in the
Yeah.
program, and then you have something to offer. So in the end, I was offered 3 co-ops,
Wow,
and I had to turn down 2. Boo-hoo. So
it's a good problem to have.
you know what I mean? Like it did not just show up magically on my lap. I worked 2 semesters to get to that point where it was so easy for me.
You build your cred for the entire year so that you will offer the co-op at the end of the year. But what if a student has not been offered a co-op? Is there a process?
Yes.
Go
So you really have to. If this wasn't the route for you, then I would take advantage of. Especially George Brown has such a great program for grad students where they have networking events. Attend as much as you can. Get to know people. Brush up on your hobnobbing abilities. You know, like walk up to somebody, introduce yourself, get to see what they're about. But really, for me, the wealth of knowledge and the most like amazing resource is the teaching staff, your professors, because they're in the industry and they know, if not them, a lot of other people. Like just this semester, one of our professors have already given me 3 names that I could possibly call for.
Oh, they've already given you.
You know, like from the beginning of the semester, I said,
Wow.
hey, you help me find people. From the beginning of the semester, I said, oh, I have 3 names for you.
Wow.
So you reach out. You really have to. You can't wait. Like if you're used to kind of a culture where you have to be a little bit introverted, that's what I learned here in Canada fast. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to take it if you want it, and take action and initiative. You can't just be sitting waiting for the world to change around you. You have to be the one to change it for yourself.
Wow, you said a very powerful statement, and you also said a very powerful statement. Said that this is something that you learned in Canada. So I already see that you've held Canada very close to your heart.
Yeah, it's something that I realized fast. That you know sometimes we get so comfortable in our home countries because we've been there all our lives. Our networks are set. If I needed something somewhere, I just call a friend who knows a friend. It's not the same way here.
Yeah.
I do not know anybody here. You have to build a network. You have to
It's
show
that.
who you are. And it's a double-sided sword. It's difficult because no one knows you, but it's also amazing because no one knows you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, you can use that supposedly disadvantage of anybody not knowing you to your advantage. No one knows you. So you can really kind of shine enlighten yourself and say, hey, this is what I've got to offer.
Wow. Do you have any tips for our listeners out there who you would probably want to share about networking, how they should go about it?
Oh, for sure. Like when I'm at an event, I find someone, I introduce I just really walk. It's really just
walk
walking
up
up to somebody and saying, "Hi, I'm Eliza. I was invited here by this person, or I found out about this event from this flyer or this website, and how are you doing today? Who are you, by the way? And what brings you here? What are you about? Oh, that's fantastic. So if there's no relation, I still take a card and say, I would love to connect with you sometime. Maybe there's something I can do for you in the future. And then right away, I add them up on LinkedIn. I send a message that I met you at this event. Looking forward to your posts.
So even if you're shy, probably just go out there and say hi.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't want to be to invalidate introverts, because I respect introverts with all my heart, but there is a side of you that you can develop, because I'm an ambivert myself. I'm very introverted to a certain point, and then I bring it out when I need to. Think of it as your job, especially if you're a marketer. It's an inevitable part of you being a marketer, of building your connections, especially in a new country. So it's really a skill. It's not, you can build it as a skill. And we're very lucky that we had this course in George Brown called Applied Business Communications that kind of talks about it and speaks to it, and how you can present yourself in a business-like way, be able to speak about you without it being abrasive. I mean, being able to, like, one thing that my teacher told me is always have your elevator pitch ready in your pocket. Like 3 of your strengths in your pocket and a story to tell. And I've carried that with me. And every time I talk, she says, one thing you're not allowed to say is
That is such a good insight to have.
So from the moment that I took that course, I have avoided saying or no.
These unpleasant pauses, they don't do good to you.
Yeah.
I can understand. So I have heard a lot of praises about George Brown, Toronto, Canada, Mac from you.
Yeah.
But do you think there are any things that you perhaps don't like about this country, or you perhaps felt would be different?
Okay, for me it's all perspective, because where I come from, I mean, the Philippines, there's a lot of stuff that happens. But if I think about it in that sense, like, I would, what would I love to change? Not a lot, because I'm just so grateful that they at least have a TTC. Oh my goodness, we didn't have that. I didn't have that freedom of movement back home.
Really?
I really didn't.
Public transport was not as efficient
it's not as efficient, and it was not as inconvenient. It was normal to be waiting 3 hours in line for a train.
Oh my God.
Just to get to work. And here it's like, so for me it's all perspective, and it's like I take it as it is. I see the interest rates. That's one thing I wish that could be curbed at some point, because prices just keep going up.
They are talking about reducing by 25 basis points in next announcement.
I'm not very much a political person, but I see it happening around me. I hear of stories about how hard it is lately to find a job. Job crisis, housing crisis, and even though I don't feel a lot of it myself, I feel for the other people who are going through it. You know what I mean? And also, like, they've been tightening the border for international students.
Yeah.
So we're just lucky that we're already here, and we're not experiencing the new guidelines have been implemented earlier. But I see that, like, there is a good side to it, and then there's like a challenge because I want other people who want to come here to be able to, and I like to give advice about it. But then also one thing that I would like to see, especially for us aspiring immigrants, is that I hope they open up new pathways, especially for students, because we've put in the time, we've paid the taxes, we've done the work, we've contributed to the community, and I hope that Canada can recognize that better and offer us pathways where we can be residents here because of the time we have proven that we are part of the community and we want to be building the community with Canada as students with the skills that we bring and the knowledge that we've learned. So that's one thing I'm hoping for. And like, so when they think about it, like, aren't you afraid that you're not going to get your residency? I was like, I'm not going to apply for my residency until what, 2026? So who knows what's gonna happen? But again, going through my whole life script of everything will fall in place in its right time. I believe that in 2026, the perfect pathway for me to an easy and grace-filled residency will open up when it's time.
Yeah, I'm sure the universe is listening to you and working towards whatever it is that you
because I cannot base it on what's happening right now. I can't even apply for it right now. So why would I base my fear on what's happening right now when I can't even, it's not even applicable to me.
No.
You know, it's not my battle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the war that I'm going to face. I will look at it in 2026 and then we'll deal with it then. But right now, you know how they say, Kung Fu Panda was it? But the present is a gift. That's why right now is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So I think about that every day. It's like, just live. Today is all you can control. The past is done. You can't control the future. So why worry?
Yeah, but I'm sure, Eliza, you might have a future plan, because why I'm saying this is you have a kid in Philippines, beautiful boy, and I'm sure you would perhaps someday want him to come to Canada and stay with you. Stay with you. So what do you think would be your plan? If not 10 years down the line, maybe a couple of years.
Well, no, there is a timeline to it. So I do have a timeline, but again, I keep it flexible and adjustable. I leave a little wiggle room to accommodate change if needed. So next year he will be here.
So yes, short-term goal is next year
he will be here.
He would
I'm
move here
picking him
permanently.
up and then moving him here.
Permanently.
Yeah.
So he
As a
continues his high
student.
school.
Yeah, he's gonna start his 10th grade here, and then he can decide. Hopefully, by the time he needs to get to uni, we have a PR already, and then he'll have the flexibility of, Mom, I think I want to go back, and take my uni back in the Philippines, or stay here, or maybe I want to go to the US, or maybe I want to go to Europe. It's really up to him.
Wow.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
we do have a last question for our guest, which we always ask them about what next. But perhaps you've already answered that. But for all the listeners and viewers out there, Eliza, who's a marketing expert, who has been an actress, who has taken up makeup as her career, who works as a managerial level at MAC, and who's also studying. So a person who's wearing multiple hats, and I don't know what she decides to do next. But my last question to this fantastic human would be, if she has one general advice to share for all the immigrants out there who are planning to make a move to Canada, what would that be?
Keep your eyes on your goal, whether it is to be PR or citizenship, or to add your credentials. Keep to that, but don't make it the end all of your everything. Enjoy the experience.
Be flexible.
Right? Like, do not always worry about, like, I've met a lot of immigrants who are always worried, will I get PR, will I get PR? And you forget that part of that, getting the PR, is the beauty of learning about where you are now, because this is your home now.
Yeah.
So learn about it, learn the people here, relish every moment, celebrate each win, mourn each grieving. You're allowed to mourn as well. You're allowed to grieve the things that make you sad. Just lean into everything, and then it'll make your experience just a whole lot rounder, and the journey better to whatever you're working for. Just lean into it.
Wow. She is a manifestation of positivity in a human form. Well, Eliza, thank you so much for your time. This was such a fantastic series with you. We touched upon IRCC, MAC, Toronto, positivity, inclusivity.
Thanks for having me. It's been a joy.
Thank you so much, Eliza. Take care, guys. Bye.